I like George. I liked him better than I liked her. Hey, George. We used to inoculate bees, and they had to pour the inoculation stuff on the bees, and you had to get your hands in there and mix them up. And I didn't have any kids yet, so I used to go out and help them in the spring. And then Dad come make a round or two, and I was smoking then, so I said, let's go back and have a cigarette. So we go back by the trailer and have a smoke, and George was there, and a long time after that he said, remember when you used to come up and inoculate the beans? And I said, yeah. He said, you'd go stand behind the trailer. Yeah. He said, I knew what you were doing back there.
That was Grandpa Avery saying that?
I just laughed. I know what you were doing back there.
No, I didn't know either one of them.
Well, he was dead when he died, but were you born and he died, or he died you were born?
He died and then I was born.
And then you were
he
born.
died in June, right around Dad's birthday.
He died, yeah. I know, I was pregnant with you. Yeah, you're right, Dan. I was
real pregnant.
And real pregnant. I should have stayed home. I was that pregnant. You were born about a week or so after he was born, or died. He wasn't very old. He was just a little man. He was a tiny little man.
Well, Dad was not very big.
He was bigger than his dad. He was a little taller than his dad.
If Dad was his natural weight, he probably would have been built like Grandpa, I would imagine.
And Grandpa was about 5'5" or 6" is all he was.
Man, was he always? I mean, he didn't shrink any.
No, and he never gained weight either. He was real slender.
Okay, that's probably where
he gets it from the wolves. That big frame. He gets it from his mother. He wasn't very big when he got married. He only weighed 165 pounds.
Oh my goodness.
He wasn't very big at all.
He
was little. When we got married, Dad wasn't very big at all.
That's about how much Bill weighed when I married him.
Yeah.
And Bill's 6'2".
Yeah. But see, Dad had this big frame, but he was not a big man. He was not big at all.
And Dad wasn't big. Even in the Army, you could see how little he was.
Yeah, he was little.
Was he taller? Was he taller than you?
About an inch is all.
And you were what, 5?
I was 5'6". He was about 5'7". He wasn't tall at all. We were probably about the same height.
Yeah, because I always thought you were so tall. You know, when I was
little. Well, I was kind of tall. For a woman, I was 5'6", and in those years, that was pretty tall.
Yeah, I think so.
And I always wish I was taller.
But none of us are tall at all. Mike's he's the tallest.
Mike's the only one that got to be tall.
Yeah.
He's 6
The rest of us
right at 6 feet.
I think Julie might be 5'4".
She's not tall. Franny's fairly tall.
Yeah, Franny's the tall of the
kids.
Yes, of the girls.
She's the tallest.
She's the tallest.
And I don't know how tall she is.
I don't either, but she is taller.
She's tall.
She's tall as you?
She's not taller than I was.
Okay. Then I'd say she was 5'5", 5'6".
She's about 5'5" for her. Yeah.
Because she is taller than me for sure. When I talk,
she's the tallest of the girls. But Mike, I was so glad. Yeah, he's 6 foot. But they're all taller than me. They're all
Bill's
taller.
about 5'10".
About that.
And that's a nice height.
Jim is not tall. Johnny's not tall. They're both real short, like their dad.
And us girls, Peggy, I think, is only 5'1".
She's not tall at all.
And I'm 5'2".
They're all, and JD's about that.
Yeah, we're all about 5'2",
yeah.
5'3".
Yeah.
All of us.
Yeah.
And then you get older.
And the males in my family my brothers were all tall. Jerry was the tallest. He was 6'2".
And they were all about 6 feet tall.
And they were about 5'10".
Yeah.
They weren't they really weren't very tall. But my grandfathers were all both tall. The males were all tall. The females were short.
That'll probably come out eventually with, descendants.
It'll change.
Yeah, it comes out.
Yeah.
And kids are taller now. They are. Kids
They are. They have better food.
And
And stuff like that.
well, I mean, they did have better food. Now
Yeah.
everything's processed.
Yeah.
But we do have more.
But and they take vitamins, and they have better prenatal care.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, because I remember you saying that you thought Jim was going to be tall like Jerry. You thought Jim was built like Jerry. I remember you saying that.
Yeah.
A lot. Because you thought he was built like Jerry. I think it's, you're hoping that someone's going to be
But somebody be tall.
Somebody.
Here,
Anybody.
Yeah, just give me a tall son.
Somebody who can reach up there, grab it.
Well, that's right. Mike can put the clock up on the wall in the kitchen without the stool.
Oh, gosh. He's got a reach on him.
He does.
That's for sure.
Like I said, he's real good to me. He's real patient with me. He's a good son. They all were really good to me. And I never, ever heard them. I never heard them kids, because I told you guys when you were growing up, don't you ever call your dad the old man. I just hate that. I've heard kids even my age, the old man came home, and when the old man got home, I hate that. Remember when I told you, don't you ever call your dad that?
I don't remember that, but it never even crossed my mind to do it.
You never did call your kids the old man.
The old man.
And I hear them yet today. They'll be talking about their dads. And when the old man got home, or the old lady, I hate that. I just hate it.
That's kind of.
I mean, they aren't saying it to be disrespectful, but it comes out that way.
It does.
I remember telling them, don't you ever, I don't ever want to hear you kids call your dad the old man.
Yeah.
No.
Hard as they work,
Mm-mm. The old man.
Oh, Dad would play baseball with us.
The old man played baseball.
He did.
He could hit it. Did he hit it?
Oh, he would hit it over the barn. We were so.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he did. He hit it over the barn one time. We were so. Oh, my dad.
He's so strong.
So strong.
Well, I went to carnival with him once, and he rang the bell. And I went to the top and rang the bell.
Oh, my gosh.
And we were with two other, I forget who we were with, and they both rang it. They didn't ring it. They only got it up halfway. But Dad got up there, and it went to the top.
Well, he was strong as hell.
Bing! He said, they hit it in the middle. He said, you got to hit it on the side. I remember him telling me
He knew that. He was probably watching someone else.
Yes, probably what
he watched.
That's right. That's what he did.
He was watching how they did it.
Then we got on the carnival ride, and I wanted to go on it, and we went up, and we went upside down. God, I got scared, and he wouldn't stop. He couldn't let me out.
Well, no, they won't stop.
I kept on it. I was so scared. Dad wasn't afraid, but I was, and I was the one that wanted to go on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some good times. We had real good times. Went to Bloomington a lot. Saw Jack Sullivan down there. Went up to the Knights of Columbus. Drank beer up there. We just had good times when we were going together.
Well, you do before the kids come. Well, after the kids too, but
after you get married, things
before
change.
You really get to go places.
Yeah.
Unencumbered and get to drink a little bit.
Yeah, have fun.
Be with others.
And he always carried a blanket in the trunk of his car. Dad did, and when he'd go places, he'd get the blanket out and lay it on the ground, and we'd all lay down on the blanket. I thought, I'd never had any went with anybody who did that. somebody stole that blanket. Somebody told me. Was it you or Connie?
I don't know
Somebody
anything about
told
a
me
blanket.
they took it to town with maybe it was Julie. Took it to town with them in the free show.
What blanket are you talking about?
His army blanket.
I remember that blanket.
And it had U.S. Army on it. And I had to have been Julie.
Well, the kids must have left it behind.
Well, they went somewhere. When they came back, it was gone.
Maybe they didn't go to the right place.
Yeah, that was their fault. Yeah, they left it. Yeah.
Somebody from Odell. Well, it could have been Pontiac. Could have been anywhere.
Could have been anybody.
Because people from Pontiac would.
Yeah, it had
I
U.S.
remember
Army
the
on
freak
it.
show. I remember going out there.
Yeah.
I was really little going out there.
To the freak show, yeah.
Mhm.
It was out at the ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Used to be downtown by the railroad tracks.
And then the trains would come
And the
by.
trains would
yeah,
come through.
you can't do that. It's
But
too
then
bad they
do-
still don't do that out there. It wouldn't take
They
much.
ought to do stuff like that again.
Is the screen still up? It's not still up. Are
It's
the
not
poles?
anymore.
There used
It
to
was
be
wood,
poles.
wasn't it?
Uh-huh. And then there were
It
poles.
was nice.
Yeah, it was. That was.
Did you go over to? I used to go over to. They'd swim over at Valley View.
Oh,
Did you go over there?
I did.
I didn't remember if you were one of the kids.
I
took
was
the
there.
kids over.
I was just there once, and I didn't know how to swim or anything, and I was alone.
You were?
I was alone. Well, I mean, nobody would. None of the siblings were with me.
Okay.
You know, you dropped a bunch of us off.
Yeah. Well,
But I
I stayed
wasn't-
and waited for you. I never would leave.
Well, I remember getting in too deep, and I was like this.
Oh,
I was
my.
just kind of, you know,
It scared you.
it did scare me, and people were looking at me, and they probably thought, "What are you doing over here?"
Yeah.
But I was completely.
Well,
nobody
did they
was
have
with-
lifeguards there?
I don't remember. I was so little.
They don't. They closed
The
that
water
place.
was probably only this deep. Because I remember seeing there was a woman who was with her kids, and she was just looking at me. Because she was seeing if I was going to be okay. But I remember I had my head way up, and the water was like this.
Oh my God.
And
There were a lot of people went over there.
It was busy. It was busy. And it's closed now, right?
Yeah, they were. It was the state closed them down.
Did they say
Something
it was
to do with
bacteria or something?
No, it was something to do with the drainage or something. There was something they had to put in, and they didn't put it in. Those people are wealthy, though. I don't know why they didn't. Hatzers. I don't know why they didn't take care of that. They didn't. They just closed
They
it.
didn't. There wasn't enough movement in the water
Yeah,
to get to
it was something
recirculate.
that they needed in
Because the
there.
bacteria can really.
That's probably what it was.
They have to check the rivers and streams for
Yeah.
bacteria. And Bill did that for a while. He would check
the water?
check the rivers around here.
Myron checks firearms. Myron goes to, he does it now, but he did go to Chicago. If there's a movie set, he'd have to go to the movie sets and check their firearms if they had that. He got to be friends with the sheriff, Cook County Sheriff, and they check the firearms. And Myron's very intelligent.
Yes, he is.
And a lot of people don't know that about him. He's not
He's
real
sure.
showy about his
Yeah.
brains.
Yeah.
But Myron is real smart.
I know he is.
Yeah. And
He
whenever he
makes a
goes,
strong drink, I'll tell you that.
yeah. Whenever he was, used to go to Chicago, he'd stop at the Polish bakery and bring home, he'd bring me by 2 loaves of rye bread and some Polish sausage. He was up there not long ago and brought me some back home.
Oh man, when Audrey got married,
He's real thoughtful.
we stayed in that Lincoln Park area,
Yeah.
and there was a grocery store. It was Lithuanian. And
Well, that's where to go.
Oh, they had the best bread.
That's what they make, it best bread.
You
That's-
wouldn't believe.
This
how-
was rye bread he
Oh,
brought home.
I
And
don't.
boy, is it
I
good.
think this was. I took a picture of it, so if I ever found it. But see, we don't have neighborhoods like that in the South. Not really.
Not down here, you don't.
Not really.
Neighborhood
Don't.
grocery.
Mexican.
There's a Polish, this was a Polish neighborhood.
Mhm.
And when you're on your way out to Midway, you drive through that Polish
Yeah.
neighborhood.
Yes.
And they've got flowers,
Uh-huh.
and their yards are just so neat.
There's a restaurant that Bill and I went to that's right close to Midway. I should tell you what it is, and you should stop by on the way home.
Well, they sold this.
It's Polish, and Bill and I stopped there and ate food, and you can go in, you look around, and you see. I said, Bill, these people are locals. This is not
You
a
can
tourist
tell.
trap.
Well, I bet it's the same one, not far.
It's not far.
Well, they sold that place.
Oh.
They relocated, and Aldi's bought that. So there's an Aldi store in there now.
It's not on a main
It's
street.
about 2 or 3 blocks
Yeah.
from Midway. I bet it's the same one.
I don't know if this one, but it's not on a main street. This is off.
Oh, this is on that street that runs back
I'm
behind
gonna see.
Midway.
I'm gonna see because I know that I know I reviewed it on Yelp.
Okay.
But we went in there and I said, whenever we go to Chicago, we really ought to stop at this restaurant.
You should.
And it wasn't fancy. It was kind of a dive.
No, this place wasn't fancy.
Yeah, this was. I think it was blue. I think they.
This was on the corner of this one that we went to.
Oh.
And that's the same one that Myron went to. And I remember I picked up some sauerkraut there, and I brought it back and I gave it to Bill DeMars because he makes ribs and kraut. And so I brought him this great big jar of Polish sausage. Or sauerkraut.
I'll have to find I'll have to find that, and I'll send it to you. Send it to Mike. You can eat there, and it was real. You can tell just by looking around.
Yeah.
That these are locals,
That's
and that's where I want to go. I want to go where the locals go.
Yeah.
I think there's a place.
I think there are, in Chicago, you can find those
you
places.
can find those places.
Yeah.
Because they still have the ethnic
They still
neighborhoods.
do in the neighborhoods.
And I like
They
that.
still have their ethnic neighborhoods.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
I do too.
Out here, it's more just Hispanic. But they have good bakeries too. It's
Do
different.
they?
Yeah, it's a different kind of bakery. Stuff that we're really not used to eating. But they make empanadas, and Mary Alice used to love. When we lived in Midland, they called it out in the flats. It was on the other side of the railroad tracks,
Yeah.
and that's where the Hispanic people were. And that's where we went to go to a Mexican restaurant.
Okay.
We'd go over there.
I bet that food was good.
It was good, and then we went to a bakery over in the flats, and we would get pumpkin empanadas.
I
And
bet that was good.
she loved those things. And there's a bakery in San Antonio, Mi Tierra. I know if we've been to San Antonio, you've been to Mi Tierra. Big, big place. And they have a bakery. And it's so pretty, and the mariachis are there.
Oh, boy.
It's over in El Mercado, the big market area that's over there. I'd love to go back to San Antonio. I like San Antonio.
How far are you from there?
It's about an hour and a half.
It's not even bad.
It's not far. It's not far at all.
No.